Greetings to all my friends in Pasadena and around the world. I am so delighted that you decided to join us for Counting the Omer at PJTC. This is our first kind of introduction video before we get started counting the Omer, and I thought it only fair to answer the question, what is the Omer and why are we counting it? The Torah tells us in a couple of places, including Vayikra or Leviticus chapter 23 and Devarim or Deuteronomy chapter 16, that once you celebrate Passover, and boy are we gonna, starting on the second night of Passover, you are supposed to count the days until Shavuot. More specifically, it says you should count off a week of weeks, or 7 times 7 days. And for each of these 7 days, you should offer up a sheaf or omer of barley. This reminds us that Passover and Shavuot, like many of our holidays, aren't just connected to stories in the Torah, but are also connected to the natural cycle of the agricultural year in the ancient land of Israel. So the original Passover probably occurred around the time of the barley harvest, and you would count up a sheaf of barley each day and offer that up until you got to Shavuot, hence counting the Omer. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not a barley farmer. And personally, I don't know any barley farmers. Nevertheless, we have a custom of counting those days and calling that the counting of the Omer. And so every night, starting on the second night of Passover, for the next 7 weeks, we say today is the first day of the Omer and the second day of the Omer, and so on. But it's not just about counting crops. Many, many years ago, the mystics of our tradition connected these 7 weeks of the Omer with 7 different sefirot of the Kabbalistic cosmology. And these 7 sefirot represented midot, or attributes of the divine being. Things like loving kindness and justice and endurance and gratitude. And here's the thing, since we're all created in the divine image, these are attributes that we have too. And we can look inside and see how those attributes are working out for us, and are there ways we might improve them? So for the next 7 weeks, you and I are going to check in with those 7 divine attributes. Each day of each week, I'll share a new video with you explaining the attribute that we're talking about that week, sharing my favorite story from the tradition that exemplifies that attribute. And also, I'll be asking you a series of questions designed to help you identify how that attribute is working out for you in your own life. And if you want, even help you make a plan to boost that attribute in your own life and contribute more of it to the world around you. Sounds great, John. How do we participate? I'm glad you asked. There's actually a bunch of different ways we could do this together, and you get to decide which is the right way for you to connect. Every day, we're going to be sharing a new video on our PJTC YouTube channel, and also in a special Facebook group that we've created just for this purpose. So you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can join this special Facebook group. I put links to both of those things in the text that accompanies this video. If you like, you can join our email list for this, where you'll get a daily notification in your mailbox with links to these things. Maybe you've already signed up for that, and that's why you're watching this. And also, PJTC is experimenting with providing notifications over text message so that you get that little ping in your pocket every time a new day's content is released. You're going to email me on Shabbat and holidays? Absolutely not. Your right to rest on the holiday is just as important to us as ours is. Even though we count Omer on Shabbat and holidays, we don't want to be sending you emails and messages and pings and stuff when you're trying to relax. So before the end of Pesach or before Shabbat starts, you might get 2 or 3 different days worth of Omer stuff for you to engage with at your leisure. No Shabbats were harmed in the filming of these videos. So however you're getting this, this is what I want you to do. You're going to get this stuff before that evening starts for the counting of the Omer. So you have a little time to digest it and think about it, and also see what day of the Omer it is for your counting. And I invite you to answer the question that I ask. And you can do this in the Facebook group comments. You could do this in the YouTube comments. You could reply to the email and send your answer straight back to me. Or if you want to keep it private, I highly suggest you sort of keep a journal for this exercise and write down your daily answers so that you can look back at it at the end of your journey. You do you. And last but not least, it's not just about watching videos and answering questions. We are also counting the Omer together. Like I said, with each message, you'll get what day of Omer we're on in case you forget. And you'll get a link to some beautiful recordings that Cantor Ruth has made of the blessing of counting Omer itself. So you can play that and have her count the Omer for you, or you can play that and learn how to count it by yourself, whichever works best for you. One last thing. You may be watching this video and it's kind of into Omer, right? It's like day 22 or something. Well, darn it, John, I guess I can't participate in counting of the Omer. Not true. We've designed this so you could pick up wherever you're joining us and follow along with us. All the content will be archived in the Facebook group and the YouTube channel, so you could go back and see what we've talked about and answer those questions. Wherever you join us, we're delighted to have you. And I just want to say that one more time as we close out. Thank you for joining us. We're delighted to be taking this journey together, and I can't wait to see what kind of conversations we start as we count the Omer together here in the year 5781. Thanks again for being a part of this community. And until day one, peace.